Every time it appears that the unity of Nigeria is threatened, the North will always come acting as the ones that are crazy about the unity of Nigeria, the ones that are saddled with the responsibility of keeping Nigeria one. But we may want to ask, why do the North always insist that Nigeria should be one? Or, as they will always put it, the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. The truth about this whole thing is a landlord mentality. They believe they own Nigeria and their property should not be broken into pieces. And until that mentality, particularly with the Fulanis, until that mentality is broken, the entitlement mentality that they own this country will never be stopped. The entitlement mentality that Nigeria belongs to them. Nigeria is an estate bestowed on them by their great-grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio. Until that mentality is broken, the problem of Nigeria will continue to persist. I said it. I say it. Now, the truth here is this. Do they not truly want Nigeria to be one? Yes, of course they want Nigeria to be one, but for the wrong reason. They want Nigeria to be one so that it sustains their landlord mentality. They own Nigeria and they should rule over it. This is why whenever another person comes and is ruling, they try everything possible to distort such administration, such as in the case of Goodluck Jonathan. And we want to add Tinubu. And we accept what they are doing to Tinubu because Tinubu in himself is a bad leader. Otherwise, if the North truly wants Nigeria to be one, then there are many things that the North must stop. Number one is the Sultan of Sokoto. An emir in his capacity should start acting like a father, devoid of any proclivity to religion, particularly Islam or tribe. If you are an emir, you should be seen to be given this aura of being a father to all, irrespective of religion, race, or region. But that is not what he does. He silently supports every evil or ills that his northern brothers or his northern brethren do in this country. Now, if truly the North want Nigeria to be one, the way they conduct Islam in the North must be revisited. The Islam they conduct in the North must be able to accommodate others that are not of the Islamic faith. They must stop this idea of trying to impose Sharia on everybody. In fact, we should begin to answer the question, is Sharia recognized by the Constitution? We cannot operate two constitutions in the same country where in one person you apply one law to the person and then the other person apply that law. If we are truly one Nigeria, we should operate one common constitution and one common law, one common punishment to everybody. We cannot be in a country where the dictates of the practice of Islam overrides the constitution. Thirdly, if Nigeria must be one, everybody, irrespective of your religion, race, or tribe, or region, must be subject to the same punishment. Not a situation whereby the person who does not carry arm is serving a life sentence in Sokoto, then the one who actually does carry arm, and not just carry arm, unalive people, is given a 20-year sentence, so that after 20 years, if possible before the 20 years, who knows if he's even in the prison cell? He's probably out. So these disparages must be addressed. If you truly want Nigeria to be one, you must begin to allow Christians to be vice chancellors of universities in the North. You must begin to allow Christians to begin to attain the position of directors and PAMSECs in civil service secretariats in the North. You can't begin to imagine the persecutions Christians in the North go through, especially Christians in the far North. We must begin to allow a northern region where everybody is equal, irrespective of what religion you practice. You want Nigeria to be one? Fine. Of course, everybody wants Nigeria to be one, but not the type of oneness you want, where Muslims or Fulanis are superior to any other tribe. You want Nigeria to be one, then start acting, not demanding. Start acting like people who truly want Nigeria to be one. You want Nigeria to be one, then you begin to designate cows as animals. Don't begin to place rights that cows have rights in country. Put cows where they belong. Stop Sharia and stop this cow grazing. We cannot bend civilization to accommodate the refusal of the Fulani culture to assimilate contemporary lifestyle. If Muhammad were alive today, he will not use camel. He will be using jet and aeroplane. Sometimes maybe power bike. So life change is a constant. We must adapt to the yearnings of the dynamics we face today. Not draw today's dynamics to suit the medieval ways of the past. We must begin to accept the fact that times do change. And those people you are unalive in the churches you are burning, the people that are worshiping in those churches were created by God. God did not create one human being to be superior to the other or to be better than the other one. God does not create human beings with defects. So the problem of the North is the mentality and the self let me put it this way, the idea that some people are employed to protect Islam, or soldiers of Islam. You must begin to allow Islam in the North to defend itself and not employ yourself as soldiers that look out for people who go against Islam and impose some very barbaric punishment like outright burning, like the case of the lady in one of the high institutions in the North. Is it Deborah? You just, and somebody comes out and boasts, "Na me bonam, I'm the one nine na samutauta." This barbarism. Now one of my lecturers I talk about this. This form of barbarism must stop. You want Nigeria to be one? Start assimilating contemporary lifestyle that suits the dynamics of today's world. You cannot force us to accommodate archaic medieval cultures that have retrogressive consequences. We must move forward. We can't wait for you. You want to move now and make this country great again.
I want you all to listen to this, and I'll read. We don't support Nigeria breakup. Unity sacrosanct. I repeat, we don't support Nigeria breakup. Unity sacrosanct. Northern leaders want Trump. A company of Northern leaders held a meeting, and they have issued a very stern warning to Donald Trump, telling him that they do not support Nigeria breakup and that unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. I watched them on TV reading the communique, and then I quizzed myself a few questions. And what were the questions I asked myself? The political leaders of Benue State, Plateau State, and Southern Kaduna, all of the other states whose terrain, geographical space, have been under attack for quite a long time. People whose states have been bleeding for quite a long time. Part of the meeting is the Benue State Governor part of the meeting. Is the Plateau State Governor part of the meeting? What about the Southern Kaduna political leaders? Are they all part of that same meeting? Because I do not think that if I have to be the governor of my state, knowing what has been happening for quite a long time to my people, I will be able to sit down in such a gathering with such a people to discuss the unity of Nigeria. Unity on what basis? I want to let you know that there are only three things involved here. One, or firstly, is that they want this unity in order for them to advance their selfishness that is predicated on incurable greed. I repeat, they want this unity in order for them to advance their selfishness that is predicated on incurable greed. When I mean greed to the highest level that has no parallel anywhere. Evil greed, everything you can think of. That's the reason why they want the so-called contraption to exist as one. That even if we are dying, they are orchestrating killings upon killings, we have to remain one as one entity. And yet nothing is done. Nobody's arrested. Nobody's punished for anything. The government, nothing is happening in order to stem the tide of the incessant killings of human beings in that country called Nigeria. A zoo, for that matter. Number 2 reason, I would say they are very hyper apprehensive. They are now very hyper apprehensive, if I can say that. You know what I mean? Because they're now seeing the handwriting now on the wall, and I appreciate it. If any of you think that Nigeria is going to survive it, it is not. Because I've been following what is happening in the US, and I can see that the congressmen in the United States of America are now speaking about Biafra, are now turning their eyes in the dimension of what is happening in the zoo, particularly in the eastern part of the zoo. For the moment, they have now turned their eyes to the cries, to the problems, bedeviling that region of the contraption we call Nigeria, at least for now that we are all lumped in together. You see, number 3, I will also let you know that on account of what the strike, what Trump had done just, about 3 or 4 weeks now, they are now also hyper exasperated. I repeat, they are hyper exasperated. Why? Because America has delved in, at least to support, to say, look, we can stem the tide, of this nonsense. We do not want this rubbish to happen. That is the reason why now, having seen the handwriting on the wall, the way things are going, they have come to the realization that the only way they can remain relevant in everything now is to still see how, let us be one Nigeria, let us be this. No, it can never work. We are saying it can never work. It can never work. You want a one Nigeria in order for you to advance, your incurable greed, to perpetrate the heinous crime, the atrocities we have been seeing and we've been speaking about for a very long time. And I want to let the people know about the misconception of Sharia. I've always said it clearly, and I've argued with a whole lot of the Muslim brethren that if there is actually Sharia, there's sincerity, of Sharia in the so-called North, the northern region would have been the most progressive, the richest region in the whole of Nigeria, if not Africa. There is nothing like Sharia in the North. That's the fact about it. You see, they are just lying, pretending. If there is Sharia, who are the highest thieves, criminals in governments? And what does Sharia say about people like that? If there is Sharia entrenched in the North, will such people exist? They cannot. They cannot. I'm telling you authoritatively, I'm telling you categorically. There is nothing like Sharia. If there is Sharia, none of them who are the highest criminals in governments. In 2015, I wrote it quite clearly, very boldly. I told the late President Buhari, I said, if you're actually sincere, President, if you're actually sincere, publish all the names of all the criminals in Nigeria, irrespective of wherever they come from. Publish all their names. Let us see the highest criminals in government. You see, and I tell you clearly here today, fact check it, and I'm ready for anything. The northern Muslim politicians and the Yorubas are the highest thieves in government. They're the highest embezzlers, looters of the government treasury in that zoo you call Nigeria. That was why it's like Buhari saw it clearly and he couldn't do it again. That was the same Buhari was telling you. They were even singing in the North that as soon as it comes into power, all the corrupt politicians will run away. They will run away. Masugudu, Sugudu. A lot of you are aware of that song. When Buhari came in, he even rather entrenched tribalism, nepotism, corruption to the core. He took it to the highest level, contrary to his promises, or contrary to what people had thought was going to happen if he takes over the mantle of leadership in that zoo you call Nigeria. You see, so now I've been asking myself, I do not know how people like the governor of Benue State, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, and the rest, whose states have been bleeding for a long time, would sit down and still be discussing the unity of Nigeria. That the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. Sacrosanct, my foot. My foot. I can't sit down with hypocrites and be discussing issues. What I'm saying here is not that I'm about hate or no hate. I am just saying the reality. I just wanted to let you to know this about me. I acknowledge the facts. It's a fact that there are good and bad people everywhere, all over the world, and everywhere. And if you're a good person, you would think there are no bad people in the world. If you're a bad person, you would think that there are no good people in the world. That is just how it is. Our people have a saying that the person who had cut someone with a machete before will not allow someone to pass behind him with a machete. Where am I heading to here? I do not harbor hate against anybody. I'm a thoroughbred humanist who want to see a decent society where people live like human beings, think like human beings, where people do not have to fear anything from me. If religion cannot make you a better person, to better the society, to liberate people, to free people from bondage, you see, from criminality, from everything evil, then if any religion wants to make you a bad person, then it is not worth to be called a religion. For me, as far as I'm concerned as an individual, I deal with people on the basis of the quality of their personality, not on the basis of religion or region, of tongue or tribe. That is just me. I'm saying it again, that I deal with people not on the basis of their tongue or tribe, religion or region, but on the basis of the quality of their personality. A good person is a good person, a bad person is a bad person. All this issue that we support unity of Nigeria, Nigeria is gone, is dead. Get it clearly, it's not going to survive it. It's gone and it's gone. That's the fact about it. We cannot endure it.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. I don't know why the North are acting as though they are the gatekeeper of Nigeria and they want Nigeria unity at all costs. They want Nigeria's unity at all costs, regardless of whether Nigeria is faring well or not. The fact that the South are keeping quiet and have not been speaking about the excesses of the North, and the fact that the North is drawing this country back and the South and their leaders have been keeping quiet, does not mean that the South are coward or Southerners are coward. It is time, like the country is not working and everybody is saying that it is better this country is splitted into two so that the North can continue practicing their religion, because these guys are fanatics. They are extremists and they prioritize religion over every other thing. They take religion as their main priority. Religion comes first before humanity to them, and it's not applicable to the South in this form. The South prioritizes humanity before religion, their culture before religion. So of course there is no way these people can live together, and this is the reason why some of this whole thing are happening. This whole insecurity bedeviling the whole country now, it is the reason why it's happening. It is the reason why there is this divide between the Christian religion and the Muslim religion. This is the main reason, because there is no love. While the South try to like kind of live in peace and tranquility, try to like kind of preach peace among all other Nigerians, this guy, because of religion, under the guise of religion, try to foment trouble and try to cause disunity between Nigerians. And this is the the problem is, this whole problem is stemming from, and couple the fact that the Fulanis have invaded this country and they have a long-standing agenda of conquering Nigeria and making it their own, and that is the reason why Nigerians are tired and fed up, because you can't say you preach one Nigeria, then you are being unjust to one region. You do certain things that please your region. You prioritize your religion alone. You see yourself as superior to other people, and you feel that you can do and undo, and nobody can do anything for do anything to you. Nobody can challenge you, because you feel like you have the wherewithal and you have the power, you have the backings to do whichever way it pleases you. Of course, when our colonial masters were living, I don't know the truth or maybe the caveats they had with the Fulanis or these northern people who are parading themselves as leaders in Nigeria and who are gathering themselves and saying that they've made a resolution that any plan for America and Trump to divide Nigeria will be met with stiff resistance. You are not speaking for the South, you are speaking for yourself, you are speaking for your region. And Nigeria does not comprise of the North alone, it doesn't comprise of the Fulanis alone. The North you are talking about, the Middle Belt are not part of you, because the Middle Belters are happy and ready for anything that will bring division and will make them to unite amongst themselves and amongst their own ethnic group, their own people, so that they will have their own region and develop their region. That is the thing. So these people parading themselves are all in the name of northern leaders that they are speaking for Nigeria. They are not speaking for the South. They are not speaking for the Middle Belt. They are not speaking for anybody. They are speaking for their own interest. They are speaking for the Fulanis. They are not even speaking for the Hausas. This is my opinion. Drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel.